Welcome back. A popular type of shoe is stepping into the crosshairs of daycare providers. They are asking parents to leave their kids' Crocs at home for safety reasons. Croc hunter Audrey Russo explains why.
The rubber clog in its natural habitat. Laid back and easygoing, but in flight mode, it's full of holes, which is why the Croc is being hunted.
Are you ready?
Como Learning Center
Get set.
thrives on an ecosystem
Go, 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 go.
of physical activity.
Yep, because that's what they do in here is run,
All right.
climb on the blocks.
Executive Director Katie Johnson
Use their energy.
says it flourishes because Crocs have been banned for the past few years.
And these are just notorious for falling off, particularly if they're running.
But like an invasive species, Crocs still find their way in.
Sometimes we'll get parents saying, well, this is the only shoe I can get my child to wear out the door. And yeah, sometimes they live in the cubbies.
Other daycare centers are backpedaling too, and the experts
I'm a pediatrician at Children's Minnesota.
understand why.
They're not really well fit or tight on the foot.
Dr. Liz Plotchek says loose Crocs aren't only a trip hazard. They can cause problems down the line.
Kids tend to use their toes to grip more. That can cause misalignment of the bones of the foot and even the ankle, the knee, and the hip.
Higher up on the food chain, literally anything with ankle support.
Because we want them to learn how to balance and use their foot muscles properly.
But does this mean Crocs should be wiped off the map?
Extinct. No, they don't. And if you have questions about Crocs, bring your shoes to your pediatrician's appointment.
Survival of the fittest footwear means finding the right habitat for them.
And there's definitely a time and place for them.
They're popular shoes because kids like them. They're not great for doing physical activities.
Pediatricians say it is especially important to keep an eye on toddler shoes. They say toddlers will try to cram their little feet in their favorite pairs long after they've outgrown them, which happens about every 2 to 3 months. Well, at a time when arts funding is often the first thing on a school budget's chopping block, a St. Paul elementary school is finding a way to fill the gap thanks to a muralist generous donation. Sammy Solina takes us to Chelsea Heights.
Expression comes in the form of Legos,
Just this, prison mobile.
toys,
Monsters go in here.
and art
You can really express your emotions in it.
for the students at Chelsea Heights Elementary in St. Paul.
My favorite thing about art is definitely drawing, but sadly we don't have art anymore.
So you can imagine the reaction
But I still like to do it.
when they lost that.
Kind of sad.
The art program and the music program were cut just because enrollment went down.
Principal Guillermo Maldonado Perez says this art classroom used to be full of kids before they lost their program last year.
It was very devastating.
The Parent Teachers Organization says art belongs.
We immediately came together and had a meeting, broke into small groups, and tried to figure out what can we do.
Roxy Hoda and Rebecca Walton lead the groups.
Someone on the arts committee posted an ad.
It was very cute, yeah.
Audrey Carver, a Minneapolis mural artist, responded.
An elementary school that I went to didn't have arts funding either, but we had an art program that was run by local community volunteers, and so I was like, oh, this is my chance to pay it forward.
She donated her time and supplies.
Blue skies and trees.
Yeah.
And took ideas from the kids.
Mine was crystals and dragon.
Dragons didn't make the cut.
Why didn't you take of any of my ideas? She said, I tried to take ideas that were most, contagious.
What caught on was a different message.
You belong here. Yeah.
That's what one of the girls said, that she would want a new student to know in their first day.
The PTO and the principal wanted to ensure that diversity is being celebrated.
We can't control on what's going on a federal stage, but we can control what's going on in our community.
They wanted their kids to know everyone deserved to blossom here.
It's not like a taboo that we don't talk about race. We talk about it in a way that help you understand the differences and how those differences make it a good and a strong community.
They should not have their heart racing here, they're so nervous. They should really just be able to get to fit in here.
So while dragons may not belong at Chelsea Heights,
A couple of them were kind of upset that the dragons did not make it into the final.
they made sure art does.
It allows kids to express themselves and explore their cultures.
Sammy Solina,
I love art.
KARE 11 News.
For the first time, we're hearing from the high school senior recognized as the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year from Minnesota. It has been a long road for her to get here, and as Joe McCoy shows us how Brianna Cannon is turning tragedy into her mission.
My understanding is you load it and then you try to knock down the pieces on the other side.
Not often do you meet a high school senior with the passion to make a difference, like Brianna Cannon.
High five.
The 17-year-old was named the 2025 Minnesota Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year.
It was honestly one of the biggest honors of my life.
An accomplishment she never could have dreamed of as a kid.
My family had been homeless, so it was me and I, believe it or not, have 10 siblings.
Unfortunately, the hard times did not stop there.
In 2018, I had lost my older brother due to gun violence, and that sent me through this whole spiral, that shut down my whole world.
But Brianna vowed to not let these things define her and turn this tragedy into her mission.
Teen mental health has always been important to me.
Hey everybody, welcome to Our West Side Story podcast. I'm Brianna Cannon.
She began her podcast with 3 friends. The idea to give teens a space to talk about how they feel.
You can't do good physically in school or education-wise if you're not good mentally.
She comes in the room and it's all about happiness and positivity.
Terrell Brum is the CEO of Boys and Girls Club Twin Cities and has known Brianna since she became a member at age 5.
For her to win Youth of the Year, it was very emotional. I'll be very honest. I teared up because I have seen how hard she's worked.
With this award, Brianna received a $20,000 scholarship towards her college education, paid for by every major sports team in the Twin Cities.
It's adorable, especially when they win.
The first-generation college student will attend Augsburg University in the fall to study elementary education.
She's filled with energy and passion, and she's brilliant.
Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.